Word of advice, guys. Make sure you don't go through the trouble of getting the turbo connected to the manifold and then forgetting to put the gasket on and having to take it all back apart again just to get the gasket on. Hey guys, we're back and I've done some research. So let's get started. First things first is we have to rotate that turbo. So this part right here needs to be facing down, as that is where the pipe from the intercooler is going to enter from the intake side. So let's get this rotated. I believe we have to do that by loosening these bolts, which are 13 millimeters, and then we can rotate the turbo down and put them back in place to secure it. Turns out you don't have to take all the bolts out to rotate it. I took these bolts out and took this bracket off, and then I loosened out this side of the bolts, and the turbo just pivots like that. So that makes it so much easier. We're gonna start the mock-up now with these bolts off, just in case we have to adjust the positioning of the turbo. Time for the fun stuff. Pipes and clamps. Take it from me, these clamps are not fun to deal with. There we go. So we got the first pipe mocked up here. This is for the blow-off valve. And now we're just gonna continue the piping down and see where we're gonna mock this intercooler up. Okay guys, I kinda have this figured out, but I'm a little stuck on a couple of things. So here's the intercooler, right here. We know it goes like that over there, right? Pretty straightforward. Looks like they have some places to put brackets on, top and bottom, which is pretty nice. I'm certain we could use that. One thing I am concerned about is this pipe here. So this looks like it comes down from the turbo, right? And it comes kind of low, lower than I would like it to be. You know, in comparison to that one, it's pretty high. This one comes pretty low. So like I was saying, this comes down pretty low, and then this comes up. You can see that on camera. And that connects to the intercooler on the opposite side. Another thing I'm uncertain about is this pipe here. It comes with a vacuum fitting, it looks like, and definitely doesn't go in the intercooler piping. So I'll have to figure out what this is for later on, but we're gonna keep this on the side for now. How's this for poetic? The box that all the intercooler piping came in has doubled as a stand. So now I can get the intercooler mocked up without putting any pressure on the pipes. We're gonna leave that one loose so we can get this one lined up with the turbo and see exactly where it needs to be. All right guys, so I'm pretty sure I've got it down now. I got this leading from the intake, that's where the blow-off valve goes. Comes down here into that pipe over there, which comes around here into the intercooler, which then comes around here, leading down to the pipe over here, which runs up to the turbo right there. And everything seems to fit pretty well. I think it looks good. Now that we know that this is the correct orientation for the turbo, I'm gonna secure the turbo and start getting some more things added onto it. All right, the turbo is secured. Just so you know, when you loosen these bolts, oil will start to drip. Looks like there is lubrication inside of here. I'm guessing it's normal. I tighten it back up. Just make sure you tighten all the bolts, all 6 of them, firmly, so that I think these will prevent it from leaking. So I did have to purchase some new studs for the turbo manifold. So these are the ones it came with. As you can see, it's equal length on both sides. Looks like it works, but it doesn't. So once you get it plugged into the turbo without even putting a gasket on it, you only get about 3 turns of the nut before it touches, and that's without the gasket. That is definitely not gonna work. And ended up purchasing some turbo manifold studs. It was $13.20. I'm trying not to nickel and dime everything on this build, but you're gonna need these, so this has to go on the budget. And as you can see, the low end is the same size, which is what we need it to be, but the bottom end is quite a bit longer, and we need that extra thread so we can get the turbo secured onto the manifold. Now that the mock-up's done, let's start getting this stuff on the correct way. First off, I realized I put this on backwards, so I'm gonna twist this around because if we have it like this, the blow-off valve will be hitting the hood. All right, so we got this secured, nice and tight. We also got this one secured, nice and tight. We got the pipe in the right direction. I had to route the harness underneath the piping. I should have moved it after I bolted everything up, but I didn't, so I had to finagle it underneath the pipe, but I got that properly routed. And now we're just gonna continue bolting everything up. Looking at this side of the piping, this is definitely not gonna work. I'm probably gonna have to cut a good portion of this pipe off and then get the edge beveled like the rest of the piping is. So I'm gonna have to get that taken care of. I'm gonna have to take it to a shop. I don't think it'll be that much for them to cut the pipe and bevel it for me. What I'm gonna do is remove this pipe because we had to get it modified. So looking at how it lines up, I switched the pipe to the lengthwise, and this actually lines up a little better. If I switch the orientation, you can see it lines up pretty well. I could move this pipe that goes to the intercooler. I can move it up and down to match it. Mind you, we still have to get it beveled after they cut it. So I'm gonna have them cut it as straight as possible and then bevel it so we can get it inside here. Now that we got the piping figured out, let's get the turbo mounted to the manifold with the new studs and then get the manifold attached with the gasket. Out with the old new, in with the new. Since getting the turbo on with the manifold on the vehicle is going to be a pain in the butt, especially with these extra long studs, we're going to do the turbo on right now, and then we're going to put the manifold on as one whole assembly. We also have these washers and lock nuts that goes on as well, so we're going to get that secured with the gasket. Just so you guys are aware, I am using double washers on each stud. I hear it's good to protect the bolts from coming loose because you don't want a boost leak from here. All the new studs, all the new nuts are on, and now I'm just gonna tighten it down and make sure it is secured. I used every muscle in my body to tighten these and make sure they were secure. So if this thing leaks, I don't know what the hell. New gasket, nice and thick. We'll get that on here. And let's get the manifold on. All right, that's all bolted up, nice and tight. Gasket's on. Now let's figure out how to pipe up the blow-off valve because this I am not certain about. So looking at everything that's needed for the blow-off valve, I am gonna need some more vacuum lines to set everything up. So this is gonna have to wait for another day. Since we can't really do the blow-off valve right now, I'm attempting to get the wire harness kind of routed and plugged in to the areas where it needs to go. It's been a pain in the butt, to say the least, because I had help taking it out. Thank you, Jeff. But I have no clue how the hell to get this shit back in. So I'm just doing my best, and let's see where we go with this. So this is proving to be a handful and frustration is setting in. It's getting really late, so I'm gonna call it a night. I think we have to devote some time to this wire harness if we're gonna get it correct. And I still have a couple other things to install that I'm certain is what's causing me to get confused with this. So I think on the next episode, we're gonna continue to get the engine back together and see if we can get this wire harness issue figured out. And I think once we get that all sorted, and then we'll continue on the turbo. I still got some pipes to cut. I still have the return line to mock up as well. So still quite a lot of work to do, but we're getting there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.